What's up? Today I'll be ranking everything I experienced in January of 2024. Let's go.
In this video, we are going to be talking about how to set up the water wheel and
It's a stupidly short flipbook-esque animation from 1872. Sorry, from 1878. Not only do I have nothing else to say about it, there is nothing else that could be said about it. This single isn't very good. My review on Music Board is right on the money in terms of my opinion on this release. And not in a good way. Oh look, it's another GIF from 1878. The only reason that I have it higher up is because I prefer the imagery used in it compared to the other one. Not bad, but I vastly prefer the previous single by this guy, who, by the way, will probably be on my next album as well. Stay tuned for that.
Hey you, yeah, you!
It's really interesting to think that there was a time when simple edits like this could fool most people into suspecting witchcraft. Nowadays, you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who would find this impressive. But yeah, back then, I'm sure this was a spectacle and an impressive magic show. But yeah, I guess nowadays people are too familiar with the concept of editing for it to really be anything crazy. But yeah, it's good, I guess. While I enjoyed my time with this album well enough, I can't recall very much of it, to be completely honest. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's forgettable. It was just probably not the kind of thing that was going to stick out in your mind, especially if you listen to as many albums as I do. Man, this was so underwhelming for me. Mostly because I genuinely thought that it was a different game. It's a fine enough name for a museum, I suppose, but it really isn't anything worth buying in this era of gaming. You're better off finding a more meaty collection of retro games. This year started off with a bang. This entered the public domain at the very start of 2024, and seeing it go viral was pretty fun. I tried some ice cream bars of Mickey, I wrote some awful lyrics for a potential rap song based on this short, saw the announcement of a freaking video game, multiple horror movies, that one thing on Adult Swim. Man, it was just such a blast to see this all unfold. Not to mention that my Letterboxd review of this is now one of my most popular. Overall, a fun time that definitely stands out.
I want you to suck it.
You suck it!
No, it's for you to suck.
Ugh, I'm not sucking that!
Suck it.
I don't know where it's been!
It's not where it's been. It's where it will take you.
Okay, I get that the story is probably all in Tim's mind, as a way to cope with his new baby brother, but the weird thing is that if we ignore that fact, one of the only plot holes is the idea that Tim could write a letter to Baby Corp. How would it get delivered to what is depicted as basically another dimension? And why is that genuinely one of the biggest issues I have with the film? Overall, while it's not a good movie, it's a miracle that it's not an awful movie either. Like, the idea is so beyond stupid, but it strangely worked for me to some extent. Not to a great extent, mind you, but hey, there is some extent there. The score is actually pretty good, and while most of the emotional moments don't really work, like, at all, a few of them actually did land for me.
So you'll just us to death?
We'll sure try.
B-movie may actually be the dumbest movie of all time. Something that I only noticed on this viewing was the scale issues. Like, the size of the beehive compared to the bees compared to the humans and the world is so off. There's also lots of plot holes with varying degrees of severity. However, I really wouldn't have it any other way. It's a dumb movie with a dumb premise and even dumber execution. Sure, the climax is rushed as hell, but who really cares, man? While I certainly don't hate this as much as everyone else seems to, mostly because I don't keep up with overindulgent celebrity drama or controversies, it still isn't what I'd call good music. It's sorta catchy but very generic, and it stings harder because we know that Lil Nas X can do better than this. The music video ending with a Bible quote is actually hilarious though. I'll give it that. Let me tell you, I had the lowest expectations for this game, but it completely blew me away. As in, I was expecting to play it for 2 minutes, and I actually played it for 3. But I cannot stress enough that this is way better than it has any right to be. Although please keep in mind that I emulated it. On actual hardware, I can't imagine liking it anywhere near as much. But for what it is, I think it was a great football game on the Game Boy. I mean, that's all it really had to be, so yeah. I played this for like 5 minutes and was absolutely bored out of my mind. It seemed like a Pokemon sort of thing, where you kinda needed to have grown up with this title to enjoy it as an adult to any extent. I do want to give it more of a fair chance at some point though. However, until I do that, yeah, it's not my favorite game, to put it lightly. While most of this release was clearly made with AI, from the cover art to the music itself to perhaps even the song titles, I still think it's pretty good. Although to be fair, I have literally nothing else to say about it. Can't wait to talk about it again when I listen to and rank 2024 releases from 2024. While I'm not finished with this game yet, what I played so far is pretty fun. It's a mix between a Sonic puzzle game and an interactive storybook. And while I have very little experience with both of those subgenres, I cannot deny that this game is pretty neat to see. I'll probably finish it up this month and talk about it more later on.
Hi there!
I'm not doing a segment about this dumbass short. Please wait until the DreamWorks ranking for that. Okay? Yoshi's Cookie for the Game Boy. It's alright. That's really about it.
How do you like that?
Lady, what is wrong with you?
Since we're on a streak of quick segments now, I'd hate to have that end here. This is a stupid movie that I have barely anything to say about. The characters are cool, and Gloria is probably in my top 10 hottest hippos list. But aside from that, I'm really not sure what else needs to be said about this movie. Once again, what the hell do you want from me? This is an Angry Birds game, for crying out loud. I did get kinda invested into it for a few days there, but then I moved on. So, don't tell anyone, but I specifically designed this track to go viral. Did it work? Hell no, but I think it's pretty decent. Especially for a work by me, so yeah.
I was such a little scamp.
This is a fun and somewhat funny little short about Mickey Mouse that I finally checked out this month because of the aforementioned buzz surrounding Mickey. And it's not bad. It's an improvement over Steamboat Willie, although it has been almost a century, so... Alright, I'm gonna be honest, this one kinda disappointed me. It isn't nearly as good as the other tracks in this format by JVKE. It's fine but very forgettable, and quite honestly, it kinda sounds bad during the chorus.
And today we're here to review for you Suika game for the Nintendo Switch.
This was a fun little distraction. It's a game where you drop and combine different fruits into bigger fruits. It's fun and can be quite satisfying. However, there is so little content here that even at its incredibly low price, it feels like a bit of a ripoff. Still, a decent time overall. This track just cracks me up. Normally I'm not a fan of fart jokes, but this is probably one of the most clever fart jokes, if it even qualifies as one. Whatever, I like how dumb this track is, and nobody can stop me from doing that. Although I do have to dock some points for the reuse of the exact same line from one of Ice Spice's previous songs.
Bitch, I'm a baddie, I get what I want. Bitch, I'm a baddie, I get what I want, like.
That's just lazy, I'm sorry.
Insano! Insano! Insano!
Insano is fine. It's a standard album that doesn't do anything exceptionally well or exceptionally poorly. As CG5's first release of 2024, it doesn't disappoint me. It's really catchy and sounds unique as far as CG5 is concerned.
I walk with ghosts, but they do not remember me.
Okay, it's not very often that I get short film requests, and the title sounded intriguing, so I thought, why the hell not? This definitely has standout elements. However, if it was the climax of a feature-length film, I think that it would be a lot better overall. As is, this clearly wants to be beautiful, and it certainly is. But I feel like it's not as beautiful as it thinks it is because I literally just met this girl and this guy in what feels like a climax. Basically, I'm just trying to say that this will work better within a longer film, but it still works decently on its own merit. What a fun little time this short was. The character design is ass. But that's really the only negative I have. The humor is great, the epic Eminem reference part felt more self-aware than anything else I've ever seen from a DreamWorks movie, let alone a DreamWorks short. Overall, this was pretty cool. I liked it. While it's not as good as Ohio Flow, it's definitely still got lots of strong lines that add to the humor. I kinda think the beat is sort of annoying, but it's not really all that bad once you get used to it.
I just want to kick this shit off by saying,
Okay, to be completely transparent, I'm not the biggest fan of Megan Thee Stallion on this planet, but for what it is, his is pretty good. I kind of think it's a bit redundant to hate everything and everyone, but yeah, this track goes hard, and it's abundantly clear that Megan is one of the best females in the rap game at this very moment. I've been playing through this game on and off for a few months now, but I still haven't finished it, so I'll wait until I do that to talk more about it. When my brother showed me this track, it was almost midnight and I was really tired. However, upon listening to it again the next morning, I really think it's good. Sure, it's not very deep, but it's solid rap music at the end of the day.
Oh, hello there!
Aside from the day-to-day animation, this is a good-ass film. It fully subverts the fairy tale genre in a way that may have worked a bit too well. But you already know all that, so let's just keep going with this list.
My dreams have always gone beyond the crossing of a pond.
This was a pretty standard 21 Savage album. It was definitely good, but not exceptional in any way. Much like a lot of the other things that I experienced this month. Despite that, it's currently my pick for Album of the Year. However, there's a 0% chance that will actually be my Album of the Year. There will be another album that I like more. I already know that for a fact. But yeah, I guess this one should take what it can get and accept that, yeah, it's pretty cool that it is my Album of the Year, at least right now, so.
Not sure about the dabbing, though.
Aside from the dabbing and the Baby Shark references, this is the original Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. What do I mean by that? Well, it took a mediocre film and improved it tenfold in the sequel. And even though I've never seen the original Puss in Boots, I have seen the original Angry Birds movie. And holy crap, is the sequel to it so much better. This movie is not only a comedic riot, but I also find the simplistic romance drama to be very charming. It may not be the funniest movie of all time, but I averaged 2 laughs per minute or something like that. So that's pretty insane. Another thing that this film did surprisingly well is the environment design, and it even expanded on the world building a bit. It's not perfect, but given what you'd expect from a film titled This, it's a masterpiece, and well worth your time.
Any being in this vast expanse of possibilities.
And now, for what's currently my favorite release of 2023. Built by Titan just can't miss in my opinion. His work consistently impresses me, and it's no different here. What an inspiring jam of a track this is. Great stuff. I really wasn't expecting Catch Me If You Can to be a Christmas movie. Anyways, I watched it with my dad after years of him trying to convince me to see it. And wow, I can definitely see why he was pushing so hard for me to see it. It's definitely the kind of movie that I'm really into. I'll be talking about it again in my Steven Spielberg ranking at some point, so I'll wrap up the discussion of it for now. Just know it's a great movie and I really like it, and I've also had dreams about it for some reason that's kind of weird, but okay.
Because this is the most significant sandbox you'll ever set foot in.
Sandboxels is awesome. Just an incredible 2D physics-based sandbox game where you can make just about anything. While it may not be as good as Terraria, it's definitely trying to be a different kind of 2D sandbox game. One that focuses more on the physics and realistic chemistry compared to epic bosses and building. You might be wondering what a mod pack for Wii Sports Resort is doing at number 2 of this list. So, let me explain. This is one of the funniest and funnest takes on Wii Sports Resort modding that I can even imagine. I mean, they turned the water into lean. This is literally peak fiction, and I refuse to accept any other opinion. I can't wait until this comes up in another rating video, just so I can gush about it all over again. Watch this with my dad, and I mean, it's Spider-Verse. That's literally all I have to say. Plus, I already made 2 videos about it, so let's just move on. And that's it, actually. Overall, I had a lot of fun this month. That's it. That's the video. Next, I'll do the month ranking thing, I promise. Okay, bye.